So we're going to talk about using 2 points to find the equation, to write an equation in vertex form. For these problems, whenever we need to write something in vertex form, one of those points has to be the vertex. So if we don't know the vertex, we can't use this strategy. But in this case, we do. So I'm going to start by going through and I'm going to read and underline. It says, a rocket was launched from a height of 16 feet from the ground and reached a maximum height of 160 feet in 3 seconds. Okay, so it was launched from a height of 16 feet and it reached a maximum height of 160 feet in 3 seconds. So what that tells me is that it started here at 0.16, okay? The highest point it reached was right here at 3.160 before it came back down. And I could kind of approximate a little parabola. Again, it's not the best parabola, but I mean, that's not what I'm necessarily looking for here. If I wanted a more precise parabola, I could use this equation I'm about to make, or I could, build out the table like we did yesterday. So they want me to write a function equation for the situation. First of all, y'all are about to freak out about f of x. Stop freaking out about f of x. If you want to write that as y, you do that. Okay? If you want to change all these f of x's to y, go nuts. I don't care. Okay? It's a y here. If you want to change this to f of x, go nuts. Okay? I don't care. They're the same thing. So what I'm going to do, knowing that, is I'm going to take these two pieces of information, I'm going to turn them into 2 points I can use. Well, first of all, the maximum means vertex. Minimum means vertex. If they tell me the maximum height it goes is 3.160, that's my vertex. So I have a vertex at 3.160. Okay? Now, they also told me that it was launched from 16 feet, which means I have another point at 0.16. That was its initial value. But it's the y-intercept, it's the initial value, it's the starting point, but it's a coordinate. All I need is the vertex and another coordinate, and I can use this strategy. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these values and I'm going to substitute them into this equation. Now, the only thing I don't know right now is a, because I have an x, y coordinate, and I have an h, k coordinate, because my vertex is hk, and this other point is just xy. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to plug them in. So I know that x is 0, y is 16, h is 3, k is 160, and I don't know what a is. So I'm going to substitute all these values into this function and find it. So my equation is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So I need to know what y is. Well, y is, I'm just going to do the work over here, 16 equals a, which I don't know what that is, times x, which is 0, minus h, which is 3, squared, plus k, which is 160. And literally all I've done right now is just substitute. I haven't done anything special, anything fancy. I have just substituted into vertex form. Okay. Now we're going to simplify using our PEMDAS rules. So I start in the parentheses, 16 equals a times negative 3 squared plus 160. Now I got to figure out what negative 3 squared is. 16 equals a times 9, because remember, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, plus 160. Well, I don't like the way that's written, so I'm going to fix it. 16 equals 9a plus 160. Our coefficient always goes in front of our variable. Now I need to get this 9a isolated so I can figure out what a is. So I'm going to subtract 160 from both sides. And I already know, because I've done this already, that's negative 144 is 9a. Well, now I can find out what 1a is by dividing everything by 9, and I get negative 16 equals a. Okay? So now I know that a is negative 16, so I can use what's left to substitute into this vertex form. So when I substitute into vertex form, I'm only going to substitute in for a, h, and k. All right? So I have f of x, or y, equals a, negative 16, times x minus h, so minus 3 squared, plus k, which is 160. And that is the function that I can use to describe this graph. Now with this, I could plug it into the calculator. I could do all kinds of stuff with it. I could find any point they asked me to. But I can't do it until I have the equation, which is what we learned how to do. There are a whole bunch more equations on the back here. If you didn't pick this up on your way in, that's my fault. I forgot to give it to first and second period. But I'll give you a copy of it tomorrow. You can copy your notes onto it, or if you don't need to. And then we'll do these 4 examples in class tomorrow to make sure we have it on lock. All right? See y'all tomorrow.